If you were to Google it, you could find the rankings from 2011 that show Georgia 48th in the nation. That's your first column, is the state name. The second column is the composite SAT score. When you and I were in school, we tested verbal and math. Now they test writing. It's verbal, math, and writing. So the maximum score is 2,400 now. Okay? That second column is the composite score, and that's where everybody stops, the state and the average. There's Georgia 48th. The third column over is the rest of the story that nobody ever talks about, and that's your participation rate. The participation rate is the percentage of seniors in your state who took the test. The number one state in the country in 2011 had a participation rate of 5%. There was not a single state in the top 10 that tested more than 9% of their seniors. The national average is 36%. Georgia, down here at 48, tested 80% of its seniors. Okay? Any researcher will tell you, and any statistician will tell you, that that difference in participation rates has a statistically significant impact on the results. Okay? So, in 2011, top state in the country, average SAT score of 1805. Georgia's was at 1450. That looks really bad, and that's what everybody communicates, and that's what makes the front page, and that's what makes the news. Remember that number one state, their SAT score was 1805? Our top 5% in Georgia had an average SAT score over 2,000. That's the facts. 1450 for our 80% though, it's not where we want to be. We want all kids to be successful. I will tell you that in 2012, and the reason this map is up here, the national average SAT score went down 2 points. Georgia's went up 7. And we had an increase to 81% of our students taking the test. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that number one state, they're an ACT state. Admittedly, they do take 70–80% of their kids are taking the ACT. Well, I looked at our ACT numbers. We have 50% of our kids taking the ACT. So we have a lot of kids doing both. Our ACT scores were the exact same. We got to thinking, every national measure that we were getting reports on in 2012 was looking really good for Georgia. And we wanted to know how that compared nationally. So we started with this map. The states highlighted in green had increases in student achievement on their SAT scores. It's literally half. It's 25 states. We added to that who saw increases in the SAT and the ACT, because we saw increases in our ACT. It was small, but any gain on the ACT is pretty significant. So we had a small gain, but it was a gain. You dropped to 10 states. We added advanced placement to the mix. You probably didn't see it because it was so small, but Vermont dropped off. Okay? You're down to 9 states in the country. Saw increases in student achievement on all of those national assessments. There is only one other assessment that every state in the country administers consistently, and it's really by federal guidelines, and that's the NAEP test, or the National Assessment of Educational Progress. We administer it in 4th and 8th grade math, reading, and this past administration we added 8th grade science. So we looked at those 3 assessments. We added to this 4th and 8th grade math. Which states saw increases in all of these 3 plus 4th and 8th grade math? You're down to 5 states. Throw in reading. All of those plus 4th and 8th grade reading, NAEP scores. You're down to New Jersey and Georgia. And if you add 8th grade science, Georgia was the only state in the nation in 2012 that saw gains in student achievement on each and every national assessment that's administered consistently across the country. This doesn't make the papers, guys. But you guys can help us in your communities. This presentation is available for you for download from our website, and you can take it around to your communities. We're excited about this. Are we the best? Absolutely not. Do we still have room to grow? We have a lot of room to grow. But we are headed in a positive direction.